Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah, right. Well, as you always worry about when you're doing live streams on YouTube, nobody's here. I shall take advantage and pull that curtain across. Get rid of some of that hideous glare. That's better. Oh, I can actually see now. Oh, we have one person. Yay! I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. And no, that's not a ghost. That's just a weird light thing. So, hello. Hello. Hope everyone, or the one person who was here, is okay. It looks like I might be streaming to myself tonight. Is someone else live at the same time? Have I forgot? Is there some kind of holiday that I've forgotten about? Or have I just upset one too many people and now I've been blacklisted? Yeah, that's probably what's happened. Anyway, I suppose we best get started then. And as usual, we shall start out with what's been occurring in Sharpe's week. Well, this week I have mostly been looking after cats, as the neighbours have been on holiday, so I've been feeding and mucking out them. Yes, making good friends with cats, always good. Can't complain about it. Lots of fusses and snuggles and cuddles, and meowing and purring and getting scratched accidentally. Sparky, bless her, she's an old girl and her nails are getting rather long. So she doesn't actually try to scratch, it just sort of happens. Ooh, did I hear the door? Oh, the neighbour's back. Yay, neighbours are back. So yeah, that's been going on. Fishy wise, no new births, no deaths. We have had some moving around. So Spotty, hello Lisa. Oh, bless you. Sending hugs. Get well and feel better hugs. So yes, Spotty is now in here. Spotty being my male bristlenose. He's already been chasing Bertie about, so shouldn't be too long before we get baby bristlies in there. The 5 Pracox rainbows came out of quarantine and went straight in, and you can probably see them zooming about in the background. Hello, Kay. And we got another 5 Pracox rainbows today. The dwarf neons, if that's what you call them. The 10 peppercorries went into their tank as well. They've settled in okay. Still, no, scaredy, skittish, hidey-uppy, but to be expected. And the new super red bristlenose male went in with Ginger, the longfin super red bristlenose female, who is mum to all the bristlenoses I have at the moment. So hopefully we'll get some super red bristly noses coming out of there soon. What else have we been doing? Yes, so as I said, Spaz went today. He was a little larger than they were expecting. They said they had a tank free for him. It's not my fault. There's some sort of smaller catfish in there that are about 3 inches long, and yeah, they might be they might get eaten overnight. And what else has happened? And I'm selling shrimp as well now, so that's all good. Getting a pound of shrimp, which I can't complain about. We also have some more blue shrimp coming from the Tropco this week. Wednesday, I believe they're supposed to be turning up. So we'll get that shrimp colony up and running, hopefully. That, I think, is pretty much it fishy wise. Spaz. Yep, that is pretty much it. So basically 4 more guppies. Sure, it does look lovely. So my 10-gallon is home to 1 Ember Tetra and 10 peppercorries. So yeah, I'm not complaining about that. That has made me think more about the life of retirement as to whether I can make enough money from breeding and selling fish and shrimp and a bit of YouTube money to not have to work. That will be good. I suspect I'm going to have to get something part-time for a while at least until I get things up and running. So yeah, there's likely to be over the next few months a kind of shrimp rack turn up over here somewhere with another big pleco grout tub on the bottom of it. So that is kind of the plan at the moment. Give it a couple of months, get things up and running, sorted, see, look into the numbers and the maths and what I actually need to bring in, and just keep going and trundling forwards, and maybe do some dog walking or cat sitting or fish sitting or fish tank maintenance. Yeah, who knows? Just make a few extra pennies. But yeah, that's kind of the idea at the moment. Try and get away from having to go to work. The dream. Plus, I reckon that really annoy my old boss. Yeah, no, I don't work no more. I'm retired. I just breed fish now. Probably upset him quite a lot, which I'm all for, really. Let's be honest. So yes, all is going. We should live in the right council borough. Yeah, that's why I got lucky. Breckland, I can sell in Breckland without a license. I can't sell outside of Breckland without a license. Oh no, poor doggo. Sending extra fusses and loves for doggo, Lisa. Oh, I suppose it'd feel weird just going out for a walk on your own without the doggo, wouldn't it? But yeah, I will look into getting. I've looked into it. I'm going to delve deeper and see if I can get the pet shop license, as it were, because then I'll be able to sell outside of Breckland. And I know at least one other shop that is quite happy to take my fish and shrimp. So and as I'm going to be looking at producing 800 to 1,000 pounds worth a month, that might be a bit too much stock for one shop. You never know. They might want 300 bristle noses and 700 shrimp a month, but we can but see. Because there does appear to be some kind of a shortage of cherry shrimp going on at the moment. It's virtually all the places I looked and have all been out of stock. Oh, bless you. So what we got behind me, we have my original breeding pair of bristle noses, the 3 electric blue acaras, the 1 pineapple or Kotaku swordtail, sorry, 2 clown loaches, and the 5 dwarf neon rainbow fish. I think that is it. And they're right snails. Yeah, so I've got 5 more of the dwarf neon rainbows that I got today from Pets at Home. And there's not actually that much room in there for more, Lisa. 2 bristle noses and 3 acaras produce a lot of waste. But yeah, we can. the thing is, now I'm kind of concentrating on getting fish that I can breed. Yeah, that's kind of the reason we don't have a Spaz anymore, Kay. That he completely ate one of the female swordtails in one go, and basically badly beat up the other female, and she later succumbed to her wounds. She was completely missing the tail. He'd had her by the head and by the belly, so I'm going with internal injuries. Hello, Cheryl. So yeah, that is the reason we no longer have a Spaz. You know, it's been in my mind a while, see if I can make a go of breeding fish. And with him in that tank, it's just so limiting with what I could put in there. Literally anything smaller than a full-grown swordtail would just get eaten. So trying to find something you can then breed that won't get eaten, will get on with the Akaras, i.e. not bully the Akaras, is kind of tricky. So, and also he meant I couldn't breed bristlenoses in there either, because if a bristlenose can get in the cave to breed, he can get in the cave as well, and he would have the male out of the cave by the tail in no short time and be straight in after the eggs. So it's a shame, but he will find a new home where he is equally loved. He might not get the belly rubs. Yeah. Well, you know, I had guppies in there originally. Then Spaz got big. He got big on guppy. Diet of pellets and guppies. Yeah, I think in the end he went through 50 of them. And 5 Harlequin Rasboras, 8 Emperor Tetras, 1 Clown Loach, 2 full-grown bamboo shrimp, 2 vampire shrimp, and 2 swordtails. It's quite a lot of munching going on when you think about it. So, bit of a move around, bit of a sort out, bit of a think, and we shall see if we can make a go. Yeah, sounds bad, but I got more for him than I paid for him. So yeah, only is an awesome and lovely fish, but with what I'm trying to do now, I haven't got room for him. Because even if I got him a girlfriend and I was breeding bichers, there's not that much. You know, people don't want that many. And I see him sat there in the shop, in the tank in there. Yeah, see a full. Didn't cover the cost of the snacks, no, but some. How can I put it? Some, like the guppies, is kind of they got put in there to be eaten. Most of the others were where are they gone? Ah, right. Yeah, when you put 30 quid's worth, well, 2 10-pound swordtails in there and they disappear virtually overnight. You know, it's like, yeah, it's time. I knew the time would come. When I got him, I knew the time would come. Hello, Kenny. How the devil have you? It's an easy way to control them. It gets the numbers down to 0 real fast. So yes, bit sad to see him go, but it's for the best. and he'll find a new home. But his smile, his general peaceful, fun way of being, he's just an awesome fish. It's just he needs the right tank. I mean, I just hope someone doesn't go in. I know the shop as well will ask the right questions if someone asks to buy him. Guppies are lovely, and the reason I wind up people about guppies is purely because to me a guppy is a guppy. Yeah, it's a different colour. Yes, fins are a bit different. It's still just a guppy. It's still a Celia reticulata. It's yeah. And certainly around here, now I see online and YouTube and Facebook, people with guppies that they're selling for however many $50, $100, $150 a trio or whatever, and I'm going, they're $2.95 in my LFS. I could buy that trio for less than a tenner. And yet, well reminded, it used to automatically go into live chat. Now it's going into top chat. Come on, you silly thing. There we go. Yeah, the refresh button always helps. The refresh. Yeah. Sorry, singing Duran Duran songs is not a good idea. Now you're in top chat. Yeah, I'll say top chat is probably fine for my stream because there's not that many people, but when you get in a bigger stream, it drops a lot of the messages out. So I always go to live chat just in case. It might be the weather. Seems stupid, but the weather still plays havoc with the internet. It's not bad out there at the moment. It's rather warm today, but it's clouding over now and should be a bit rainy tonight, which is always welcome. I never say no to a bit of rain. Can't beat a bit of moist. So there we go. So basically, I've got to do a bit of maths and working out in my head and figure out just what I've got to do to be able to see if I can make a go of being a professional fish and shrimp breeder. Tornado embarking. I didn't hear about it. But we had one here a few years ago, probably about a decade ago now, in my town. It made the main news. Tornado. It knocked over a sandwich board and pulled 2 tiles off of a roof that probably needed doing anyway. And I'm sorry, Cheryl, but I read that completely wrong. I read it as though you had fat balls. And then it took a while for my brain to twig what you're actually typing. Yeah, so I've got plenty of little birdies out the back. They've been feasting this week. Feasting on a diet of Malaysian trumpet snails. I had a bit of an outbreak in the flex. When you're taking the snails out of the tank and you stop counting and you just start measuring them in fluid ounces or milliliters. Yeah, something must have just hit a tipping point in there because I think in the end it was about 300 milliliters or 300 mil of trumpet snails I took out, which went out on the back patio. Well, a couple of handfuls went in there for the clown loaches to munch. But the rest all went out on the back patio and the birds went nuts for them. Only then do I find out that some people will actually buy the damn things. I'm like, really? And then I forgot to ask about it while I was in the shop earlier. So if I'd have said, do you guys want trumpet snails? And you go, oh, yeah. Oh, balls. Because that's one thing I can definitely breed. You just put them in a tank without anything that eats snails. Tornadoes, rainstorms, thunderstorms. Oh, pardon me. And I've got a friend walking the Norfolk Coast Path this week. He started in Lowestoft yesterday and he's going round to, is it King's Lynn? I think he might be going all the way around to. Okay, he's got an assassin snail tank. Yeah. My only worry there would be I'd end up becoming an assassin snail breeder. Mind you, the way I'm going, if I can breed it and sell it, I'll breed it. Which reminds me, I've got to pull my finger out of my butt and get that advert up on Facebook Marketplace for water. Apple snails. I could. That's one thing I could do. I've only actually seen one for sale at the moment. So I'll leave that. In fact, the only tank I could put them in is that one, which has got the clown loaches in, so the babies wouldn't last very long. Hello, Deborah. Welcome aboard. Good to see you here. Welcome to weirdness and God knows what. Whatever comes into my head really is what gets talked about. Or whatever anyone in chat wants to talk about. There are very few limits. Well, we try and avoid religion and politics, as that's usually when I upset people. Well, that and people who stick to any kind of real dogma that has been going for years or centuries and has been proven not entirely accurate. Let's get the lead back. Here we go. Get the lid back down on the Shelly tank. Yes, no, just because I moved the lid, it doesn't mean you're getting fed. When am I doing my next ghosty one? When I can get one figured out, Kay. As I'm going with Norfolk ones, my current haunting, as it were, doesn't really make for much of a story. And the other two I have, one involves the one truly malevolent thing I've ever encountered in my life. And the second involves a certain large black dog, well known around this area, but, and seen by many a people as well, and not just believers. I know someone who absolutely does not believe in paranormal, who has seen Chuck, and it scared the bejesus out of him. Yeah, yes. Well, I could do that one. I mean, I'd have to then do my research to get the origins of when he first turned up and then bring the story through. But it is something I can think about and work on this week. Not a problem. If you want me doing more ghosty stuff, I can do more ghosty stuff. I mean, personally, I don't think I've got the voice for it. Although, if Shadow does turn up in the background, that could be a very successful video. Because Shadow is stomping around upstairs all week, so. Although there was a very nice moment this week. There's the floofy monster, Zach, the ghost cat, and she followed me. I wasn't noticing following me till I got to next door. And period attire. I don't know period attire. And I'm trying to keep to actual, factual, real stuff that I've experienced or people I know and trust have experienced. Where was I going before then? Oh, I lost my brain fart, getting old. What was I talking about? Researching Sharpe. I've been doing the video. Yeah, I've lost it completely. Getting old. Big pants. I got sorting the dish in the bedroom. Oh yes, Zach coming. Yeah, that's all right. So if you didn't know, Deborah, that floofy boy up there, he is still here. He passed last year, but he's still around and makes his presence known. Hello, Fisherman. How devil art thou? Yeah, but he patently followed me next door when I went in to feed the cats. Because him and Sparky, the little old ginger girl, who is in her mid-20s now, bless her, she's lovely. They were great friends. Zach used to look after her, look out for her, make sure no one else tried to beat her up or anything like that. Now, anyone tried to hurt Sparky, they got a full-on Zach attack. Yeah, plenty of cats ended up at the vets with some rather serious injuries. Yeah, a few people did as well. But I went round, and no, Sparky would be paying attention to me, fully on me. No, I'll go around and give her a fuss. Anyway, she's not looking at me, but she's making a different meowing sound. And she paid me no attention. I put the food in a bowl. She didn't touch it. She was meowing and obviously talking to a cat that I couldn't see. So, yeah, Zach followed me around and had a look and checked that Sparky was okay. Bless him. And, right. So, she's getting on big time. She's stone deaf. Got problems with her back legs. Bless her. I mean, she's lovely, but skin and bone. What do you expect from a 23-year-old cat? You know, they're not supposed to live that long. So yes, you might have been telling her it's okay. Don't worry. If the time comes, don't worry. I'm here. That sort of thing. Well, that's what I read into it anyway. Then he had a good snooze and a nap with me later. Because he does that. That's probably the one thing that happens here, ghost-wise or paranormal-wise, that would freak people out, is the feeling something jump up on the bed with you and then not seeing anything there. Feel the lump of a cat jump on the bed, you look and there's no cat there. So I'm used to that kind of thing. So, a lot of the stuff that people find scary about paranormal, I don't. Sorry, I'm just watching fish porn right now. Watching some shell dwellers get it on. Oh, I don't mind if they breed. They can breed all they like. I get £2 pull for one of them. Might be a spider. Don't get spiders that big over here. If they did, my house would have gone up in flames a long time ago. And to anyone new here, this isn't weed. This is just normal hand rolled cigarettes. But we do get some fairly sizable spiders in the UK, but nothing that you feel land on the bed. Not through a duvet, anyway. I mean, biggest we get is probably going to be one of the wolf spiders, 4 or 5 inches across, leg tip to leg tip, but they're a tiny little body. It's something rattling, vibrating. I don't know what you're sitting on, Lisa. Yeah, you can probably hear the air pump. I think what it is, there is probably a pleco or a snail in one of the uplifts from one of the sponge filters, and then it makes them make weird noises, especially if it's a narrite snail, because they almost block them off, and you actually get a high-pitched whistling sound coming out of them. Has finishing work been positive? Isn't it always? Must admit, I'm getting blanked in there. If I go in there to get some bits, certain members of staff basically blank me, which, yeah, it was probably a pleco or a snail. Either that or your love eggs run out of battery. Nerd! Howdy, Jason. How are you? Hope all is well in the redfish, bluefish land. Oh, pardon me. There we go. And yes, I burp on stream if you're new here. Burps and farts happen. Puerile juvenile humour happens. And sometimes serious things happen. That's good to hear. Hanging in there. Keep hanging, keep hanging. Eventually you'll pull yourself up. That's the way I look at things these days. That was still a small one for me, Jason. If I let loose a full blast one, it would overload the microphone. But yes, I am looking at the probability of becoming a full-time fish breeder, shrimp breeder, seller type person. So fingers crossed we can make that one work. PP fingers. Yeah, that's a good one. I used to get called something like that. I think it began with C and ended in, well, it began in Little and ended in Unt. Yeah. Or Little and then ended in Arstead. Yeah, usually those kind of things I got called. Only one way from rock bottom is up. Yeah. I think I heard a couple. That could well be outside though, Lisa. I've not heard anything. Because I've got the back door open, and next door are probably rattling about as they just come back from holiday. Constable, yes, yeah, highly religious foster parents. What do you expect? Now, what do you expect when you get caught smoking the Bible? Oh dear, that really didn't go down well. Chrissy boy, how are you, sexy beast? Magnificent troublemaker. Yeah, I've not made any trouble yet today, so I'm slacking. Hey, you can try and derail my stream, Chris. You know you're welcome. It's poop time. Yeah. I mean, it was quite a funny story, the getting caught smoking the Bible. No, not off my game. It's more just had things as I don't know if you were here earlier and were lurking or haven't heard. I am looking into becoming a full-time breeder sailor. So fingers crossed I can make the numbers work. I'm not going to be rich, but Cheryl's got a visitor. If they abduct you, just type it in the chat, Cheryl. And yeah, so it was kind of something I was thinking of. Well, if I can make enough to just have a proper part-time job, well, I'm be investing in RO. Well, heck, everything I breed is getting bred in tank water. 50% Church of Christ, 50% Premier Bats. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, this was Roman Catholic, so I'm not sure which is worse. But yeah, I smoked, and they must have known I smoked. It's poop time. I haven't. So thank you very much, Chris. I'm sorry I haven't got the thing put up, but there we go. That's probably the closest I can do. Pretend to accidentally follow through. Got an e-bike, cool. Perch shirt. Nails, fish, hard as water. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, if I'm selling fish to local fish shops, then if I can get fish bred in local tap water and adapted to and thriving in local tap water fish and shrimp, then they should do well in the shop, and then when the shop sells them to somebody, which is what you want, really. Yeah, I mean, I still do test the water in the bags of everything I get. No, when I get anything from anywhere new, test the water in the bag, not for ammonia and nitrates or any of that stuff. I test it for pH, GH, KH, yeah, temp acclimation. Yeah, you're just going to float the bag for a bit. If there's a big difference between the two, then I'll do not necessarily drip acclimation, but I'll just add some tank water into the bag slowly, and then when it dump them in and see what happens. Thank you very much, Jason. Guppy's down to 56 annular anchor put. Yeah. Yes. We're gonna see how we go. I mean, what's worse? It can happen. I fail. I have to get another job. Yeah. So basically, the smoke in the Bible. I'd run out of cigarette papers, and I really, really wanted them. I really, really wanted a cigarette. And where is the thinnest paper you've ever found outside of cigarette papers? It's in a Bible. Yeah, I got caught. Bunch of tanks. It's all this. Yeah. Exactly. What I'm basically like this. So we got 6 5-gallons with a 10-gallon tub at the bottom. Pizza. Stingrays. Stingray. Da-da-da-da-da. Sorry. So what I'll probably do is a similar kind of thing, but with shrimp. Probably fewer tanks. So get a short little one. 1 10-gallon tub on the bottom for plecos, and then either 3 or 6 shrimpy into shrimpy colonies, because we all know how quickly cherry shrimp breed, monthly. And as I say, I'm not talking like high grade shrimp here. We are talking Skittles tank weirdness. So there's all sorts in there, including wiles and completely clear ones and lace ones, as I call them. Weirdly, jelly blue red rillies that's something I've not seen before, so I didn't sell any of them. Neo Carradine white, yeah, they might be okay outside. To make sure we keep everything out, because that will be a problem. Is I do have dragonflies in my pond, and I get a funny feeling dragonfly larva would eat shrimp like no tomorrow. So I was going with the pepperoni pizza Maturo Stingray, Chris. That's what I was doing. But yeah, so all I've got to do is sell 800 to 1,000 fish and shrimp a month. Doesn't seem like a huge ask. If I get, say, 3 or 4 shrimp colonies going, I already got one going big time. Yeah. They're called blue release and carbon release. I don't know. They're just sort of a really pale see-through blue with the red patches that a normal cherry really would have. They just look cool to me. There's also some in there that are actually lime green, not like the dark green or the green jade green. They're just green. Yes, there's all sorts of different flavours in there. Well, hey, I looked at that picture of that stingray and it looked like a pepperoni pizza to me. One that had been in the oven a bit long and they burnt the cheese. Made the crust go crispy and horrible. Pizza crust should be soft and squidgy. Good and thick and doughy as well. None of your thin, crispy. It's poop time. Thank you very much, Fishymon. I don't mind doing poop impressions every time someone puts a poop emoji up. I don't have that problem. I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind sitting here for 2 hours going. Saves me having to get a job. Howdy, J Rock. How you doing? Good to see you. It's always nice seeing new faces. I was getting worried at the start of the stream that nobody was actually going to show up. I was thinking, hang on, is it some kind of holiday? There you go, exactly. It's worth dollars to see that look. Yeah. But it's a well-practiced look of someone who's accidentally done that more than once. That's the thing, when you get past 40, you can't trust every fart anymore. Especially when you've got irritable bowel syndrome, because that can strike out of the blue. You're like, oh, I need a fart. Oh, no, that's not a fart. You learn how to run upstairs with your butt cheeks clenched. Evening, Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. I'm in Norfolk, England. The sticky out roundy bit on the right-hand side when you look at the map. The most unconventional fish streamer, pretty much. I've got a niche of the weirdest fish streamer there is. Thank you very much, Dan. I did watch your Cory breeding video the other day, so now I know what to do if I get eggs from my Palliatus Cories. I say if, when, hopefully. I've got 10 of them. They can't all be the same sex. But what I have noticed with them, you see the pictures online with no peppery spots looking pretty. and I've seen them in videos. Mine kind of, when they catch the light, they're pearlescent blue. They're kind of like the dwarf neon rainbow, just not as bright. Yeah, when they catch the light right, it's like, oh, I didn't know they did that. So I'm glad I went for those rather than the bronzes. Ah, thank you very much, Jason. I'll say all the and Bob. Oh, Bob with the lovely line. Thank you very much. I'm feeling honoured for all these super chats. Try to stay away from drama and not a drama guy. No, I try not to do it either. I try not to get involved in any beefs or griefs. I mean, I do wind people up. I do derail streams. But I think everyone kind of realises now that when I'm doing that, I'm just being me. I'm just having a laugh, not taking anything serious. And if I do need to troll people, I have separate troll accounts on separate devices. Yeah, I say life's too short for that. And the fish farm isn't the place for drama. Let's talk about religion and politics. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Well, there's a reason. There's a certain bearded YouTuber I don't watch anymore, and I unsubscribed from. I may have accidentally called someone Führer. Well, he's so right wing, it's unbelievable. He just doesn't realise he's right wing. Yeah, exactly. So I see this as me having a chat with my mates. You know, as you go down the pub or whatever, or go out for a meal, hang out with your buddies and just have a laugh and a chat and a joke and not take much too seriously. Yeah, that's kind of what the whole vibe is I try to generate. Just in life in general, really. If I can slip a joke in, I slip a joke in. They're showing the stream using that Annex Palestine. Well, actually, speaking of that, Jason, I built, as you show these models in aquatics is the giveaway. I did build a model of a D9R duck bulldozer as used by Israel and bought from America. Probably with the money that America sends to Israel. Yeah. But what I did, I built it and it's all weathered up and looked dirty and well used. And I then made a small Palestinian flag and kind of draped it over the top of the dozer blade like it had been bulldozing Palestinian houses. Didn't go down well with the Jewish community. Yeah, that did kind of upset some people. But, you know, it's what they actually do, what they get used for. And I saw, because some of us model builders are sad. Well, we're all sad, but some of us are sad and others and actually research the thing we're building. So we'll be looking at pictures online of how it weathered, what kind of situations it was in, how they got battle damaged or whatever. And I came across a picture where there's a D9R that's gone through a Palestinian house and it's got one of the flags caught over the dozer blade. So that's what I did. Where is it? Is it in I think it might be in the windowsill, actually. Let me see if I can grab it without falling apart. Oh, God. Well, it's covered in a layer of dust, as you'd expect. But if it'll focus, there we go, Palestinian flag on it. Yeah, that'll upset someone. Oh. Yeah, I'll say each to their own, as long as they don't try forcing their opinions on others. Oh, thank you very much, Jason. I've been known to knock together the occasional semi-decent. Yeah, I don't know, 20, 30 hours, something like that. It's really not that complicated a kit. It's only about 600 bits. Enjoy your food, Chris. If you have a food coma, I'll understand why. It's Sunday. Food comas have to be done on a Sunday. Says the one guy who doesn't get a food coma on a Sunday because he's busy all day. Actually, I'm trying to think if I actually got anything for tea after this. Pork pie and crisps. Chips, sorry. Cheese and onion. Yeah, that's one of the weird things. I kind of have some sort of natural inbuilt where I just build models fast. What kind of fish do we have in the tanks behind me? Well, in these we have. Let's get the camera and have a look, shall we? They're probably all hiding. They usually are. Mine pie as opposed to mine camp. So up here, all hiding up, there's about 30 baby crebensis. In here, with the sun glare, are 60 bristlenose plecos. And there are 60 bristlenose plecos. These are all 5-gallon tanks. Up one is now empty, awaiting a batch of bristlenoses. We have Neolamprologus similis shell dwellers and lots of algae. And that one at the end is the one that's got today's purchase of the dwarf neon rainbow fish in it. There's one behind me, the big one, has a trio of electric blue acara. We have a swordtail, a very big pretty boy swordtail, 5 more of the dwarf neon rainbows, a rather fat female bristlenose, that's Bertie. Spotty's in there somewhere, he's a male bristlenose. There's a couple of clown loaches, a bunch of nearite snails. Thank you very much, Bob. The other shell dweller tank of more similis. Howdy, Jason Anthony, how you doing? Oh, planes there. I don't want to be getting into a tin can full of other people's farts. My Father's Day card. And down there is a cherry shrimp colony. Get the camera angles right. So we have the Fluval Flex 15 where we're breeding bristlenoses in. And there's the 10-gallon with all the peppercorys. Beside that is the tank with more shrimp and pygmy cories and CPDs, and then there's another shrimp tank that you can't see. So that's what we have. I will be in some more female swords, yes. Howdy doody, Carl. How you doing? Been a while. So yeah, a quick tour of what we got. There is a full tour video somewhere on the channel, fairly recently, I think. Although things have changed since then. You know how fish rooms are. Nothing will change for months and then you'll change loads in about 2 weeks. Yeah, all good here. I'm not working. um, so yes, yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so hopefully I can kind of make a bit of a go of it and make a living breeding fish, because it's not a job. It's probably easier to do the things like the water changes and the filter cleanings when it is your livelihood. Well, if I don't do it and my fish die, I'm going to be broke. Now I'm going to have to get a job, and then I'm going to be miserable. So, rest might have to get something in the meantime, job wise, just to tide me over until things pick up and take off. And at some point, if you hearing a clicking sound behind me, that is the clown loaches. They've obviously found some Malaysian trumpet snails. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. Guys, I just had enough of the stress and the grief and making other people bloody money. No, the harder you work, the more someone else makes. That don't seem right to me. And so I don't have any stickers, but the same goes with me, Dan. If you ever want to steal some of my video, go for it. Yours is going to get more views anyway, so unless I do some clickbaity titles and put things like aquarium co-op in there. Absolutely nothing to do with them, but just put the title in there. Yeah, I say this is how not to keep these fish or shrimp. Just because this guy somehow manages to keep them alive like that, I don't know how. Yes. Oh, another thing that did happen. Had my first heater die on me. Which I'm not surprised because it's the cheapest and nastiest heater there was. But yeah, that pooped the bed, as it were. It's poop time. But it was on, the light was on. The water wasn't getting any warmer. And I didn't get an electric shock when I put my hand in. Marriott, my lovely, my darling, how the devil are you? Yeah, the light. Let's grab it. Not like I'm going to break it if I drag it across the floor, is it? The little Interpet thingy, and you might be able to pick up where it's condensated and actually mouldy on the inside and dripping. So yeah, there is a hole in it somewhere. I just can't find it. And I think what's happened is, oh no, I know what's happened because I can see it. The element's basically completely burnt out. There's yeah, there's little bits of burnt tungsten element floating around in there, so it's gone bang. Thank you for liking the Brizzle Noses. So I was talking to Rocco of Rocco's Fish Room, and he kind of said he'd like to see it. So, about an hour and a half later, I'd filmed the video and put it up. We always like it when Marriot's doing well. Big hug. Actually, it's Marriott, so big hug down there. And you're cool. Yes, there we go. Where was I? Yeah, so that's my first heater that's died. Thankfully, it died in the middle of a heat wave, and it died on a tank in which I had fish that prefer cooler temperatures. So, kind of died in a good time. Actually, it didn't because, well, yeah, sort of. Because it was one that was in that Pleco tub. Yes, I know a 50-watt heater is probably a bit small for a 10-gallon tub, but it was when I was, what was I doing? Yeah, it was when I was last weekend when I was catching out the bristlenoses to sell. I was like, this water's a bit cold. No, could just be that it's warm air temperature and the water feels colder. If it's a cold day in winter and you stick your hand in the tank, it feels really warm. If it's a hot day in summer, you stick your hand in the tank, it feels cold. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking that's what it was. Well, it feels a bit too cold, so I got the spare heater I had, popped that in there, and it warmed up. Well, actually, what I did is I swapped them around because I had 100-watt in there and 50 in there. Don't ask. Why have you put the 100-watt heater in a 50-gallon tank and a 50-watt heater? Yeah, I know. So I swapped the heaters over, and that one warmed up and that one cooled down. Heater's dead. Because the light was permanently on, the temperature wasn't going up above 23. So thankfully, bristlenoses don't mind a bit cooler weather, and neither the peppercorns, so I got away with it. How long did it last? A couple of years, I think. Yeah, I mean, it weren't like weeks or months. It was, yeah, the bottom one is plastic, Bob. And don't worry, the heater is not touching the plastic anywhere. I made double sure of that. And the heater is in the outflow from one of the filters. So so it's not building up a hot spot, but just a cheapo heater. It's probably exactly the same heater as about 25 different makes you can buy, just a different label on it. Amber, my lovely, hello, sending even more love and hugs back and kisses. Mwah. You know we all love you, Amber. Gorgeous girl. Oh, hold heat got didn't realise that. Sorted. So yeah, but yeah, everything's back up to the correct temperatures now. I'm going to break out the morning wood tomorrow, mix some of that up and feed the plecos with that, so it'll get nice and fat and grow super fast, hopefully. As I say, I don't see the point in buying expensive heaters because, pardon me, internally they're all the same, basically. Unless you go with an electronic one, and then you just got the electronics can go wrong a lot easier than a bimetallic switch. I mean, literally, what is in there is a miniaturized version of what's in your kettle. And all that knob at the end does, right, it doesn't turn anything up or down. It increases the gap in the bimetallic switch so it takes more temperature to make it open or close. They're really simple. And yeah, it's literally burnt out like a light bulb because it's pretty much the only difference between a heating element and a light bulb is the amount of light they give off for the heat they get to. That's 3 tanks on each layer, Jay. So it's 3 24-litre tanks. So 5 gallon, 6 gallon technically, but what's a gallon between friends? Especially when it's me and I'm sticking 60 bristle noses in them, or 100, or yeah. Always makes me laugh. You can't keep one bristlenose in a 10-gallon tank. It's too small. And I go, I've got 200 in one. Yeah, just upset people sometimes just for a laugh, really. Not causing drama, just pointing out some fallacies. If you keep up on the maintenance, keep up on your water changes, your filter cleanings, as long as it's not fish that are literally too big to go in the tank, then you're golden. I'm all good, thank you, Marek. Big snuggly hugs back. And other stuff, if you want. No naughty pics though, Marek. I know what you're like. That size of the fluval edges. Ooh, what is a fluval? What size is an edge? I don't think we get the edges over here. I've not seen them. What's 24 litre? Yeah, something like that. They're a good solid tank. I mean, no, this is the thing. These are cheap tanks, right? These are the equivalent of the $1 per gallon sale tanks. Maybe slightly thicker glass and slightly better built, but that kind of thing. But for a 24 litre tank, it's £30, which is about 40 something dollars. So yeah, we pretty much pay £1 a litre or £4 per gallon, which is probably around about $6 a gallon for tanks on a good day. That's for the no-name ones. Yeah. Big snuggly hugs for Marek. Yes, this is one of the main differences. The price of tanks in the UK versus the US. Price and size. I mean, that is a 200. That's a 50-gallon behind me, and you'll be lucky to get one for less than £300. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're solid little tanks. I mean, okay, they might not be low iron, high transparency glass. The silicon seals might be a bit chunky. They've got the extra added bits of plastic around the corners for protection. Have a good solid tank, and you stick 3 together like that, and you can get a 90 centimeter, yeah, 3 foot light over the top. Job done. Yeah, it's the cheapest way to set up a rack in the UK anyway. Oh, and admittedly, those shells won't take a huge amount of weight, but I did the maths. Don't worry, it's well below what they can take. A lot of tanks kind of downsizing and upgrading. Yep, I think so. I mean, the tank that heater came with, the Super Pet 25 litre, for some reason they call it the 30. Super Pet 30 or Superfish 30. No, call it a 25. It's a 25 litre. Yeah, I mean, I've got that one sat upstairs empty, but that does feel really cheap. The glass is a lot thinner than even these things are. It's one of those where anytime you sort of try and touch it or move it, you're kind of worried about the glass breaking. So yeah, there's a reason that one's empty. Although I did get that one reused. Did I remember the factory 12 stone of bristlenose? Yeah, but they do. Yeah, but with the water displacement, Dan, it kind of evens out. Because bristlenoses are lighter than water. So while technically that might be a 40 litre tub, there's probably only 30 litres of water and 10 litres of bristlenose in there. Oh, well, I would say enjoy your stuffs, Lisa, but yeah, extra fusses and loves for Doggo and hugs for you too. Have a good week, my dear. Yes, it's it's not good when you start counting your bristle noses in feet or pounds. How many bristle noses have you got? About 65 foot. 255s, 240s, 37 and 29, 9 flex and 7 gallon edge. Yeah, cool. I mean, I'll say over here, that is considered a large tank in the UK. Something like I'll say in the US, a 10 gallon is your basic starter tank. But over here, something like that is your basic starter tank. Yeah. Fluval Flex is considered an expensive, well, it is an expensive tank, but it's considered high end. And I've got 2 of the Flex 15s and the Flex 9, and I love them. They're awesome tanks. Yeah, I don't know how to. Yeah, well, so the way I'm going at the moment, I'm going to probably end up with a few more of those, another one of those, unless I sort out a actually proper lid for the big black bucket. Although I'm scared to put water back in that black bucket because we know what happened last time it had water in it. I opened a wormhole to the crib dimension. Oh yeah, it's super easy maintenance. You can just stuff your siphon down into the first compartment in the back, suck the water out of there, and all the excess gunk didn't make it into the filter. Get your bucket full. There's a 3 gallon bucket in UK. We have 3 gallon buckets. That's plenty enough for the water change for the week. Pull the sponge out, give it a squish in the water, stick it back in. If the flow is getting a bit low, pull the pump out, clean out the sponge, pop it back in. Job done. And when you put in the water back in to refill it, you pour it in the top of the sponge, and you don't disturb anything in the tank, and it all mixes in so the temperature equalizes. And that death trap in the back for small fish and shrimp, no, it's not a death trap. It's a safe place for small animals to go and feed and not get eaten by larger ones. When I had platies, the amount of platies that would be in that back compartment. You're looking in the tank and you go, yeah, I can see the adults. Yeah, I've got them. Oh, okay. Then you lift the lid off and you shine the torch in the back compartment. It's just like stacked up with baby platies. And we're going to go halves on a Mega Flex. Yeah, it's a fry box. Exactly. It's inbuilt. Although I do still use a breeder box in there for the bristle noses because they would get everywhere otherwise. And it's more a case of just keeping them somewhere they're easy to catch and move. Rather than trying to catch anywhere up to 100 odd bristle noses out of a planted tank. Yeah, the biggest is the 32, the Mega Flex. Yes, that is on the dream list. Lisa's the favourite box. I mean, I've got one no-name one that the slots in it were that big that it would never have held fry. So I've siliconed some stainless steel 1mm weather mesh for covering up like air bricks on the outside of houses so that spiders and stuff don't get in. Well, not necessarily spiders, more rats and mice and stuff. Thank you very much, Dan. So yeah, I was just siliconing that over the slits because they were just too big. I've got another one this week, which is it's a superfish one, but again, they've all got the same basic design, but the slits in that are much narrower, so the fry won't escape. And I've got one of the Zis ones as well, which is really cool, but given the price of them, Yeah, I'm probably not going to get more. Again, I say it's just somewhere where I can put fry or eggs and keep them away from getting eaten, and so that, especially with the bristle noses, because if anyone's tried to catch 120 baby bristle noses out of a tank, it's not easy. But when you've got them all in a breeder box, it's a lot easier to move the breeder box out and then dump that into another tank and let them out. I'll say I can't fault with this breeder box. It's an awesome piece of kit. Blankets and managers goes first foot. Exactly. I mean, 8 tanks a little over a year. I'm approaching 3 years and 15 tanks. But probably by the time I hit the 3 years, I'll probably have another few tanks. So, like catching neon tetras in a 500 litre. Oh, God. Yeah, that kind of thing, I'd set up a fish trap. I would do the Coke bottle, cut the end off, turn it inside out, chuck some bait in there and just sink it. Yeah. Still can't be as bad as catching shell dwellers. The second you go anywhere near, they all disappear into the shells. So B, you get sneaky, you take the shells out, put them on a mug in a bucket of their tank water, so they all come out of the shells and go to the bottom, take the shells out. Good idea. Good idea, Dan. Why didn't I think of that? I don't need to be catching neons in a 500 litre tank for you to get my heart beating, Marrett. You sent me a scout camp more than once, remember that? Cool things, most of the fish come from bad homes. Yeah, I mean, that's always a nice thing to do. None of mine have, and I hope none of the ones I've sold go to bad homes. But can't really think about that too much, because otherwise you wouldn't sell them. But yeah, I'll say it's literally with the breeder boxes and the bristle noses is just, oh, we're screwed then. If your brain's not the beauty, we are screwed. Especially after you getting attacked by that seagull and the concussion. Mind you, the amount of concussions I've had. If I'd never had a concussion, God, how intelligent would I be? And I've only got marginally more hair than you, Dan. It just looks better from the front than it does from the back and the sides. Trust me. It ain't going to be long before there's nothing left on top. And I start sporting the monk haircut. Or even worse, you just get that. You get where the sides recede, the back part goes bald, and you just end up with like a little tufty island bit in the middle. And then like normal hair on the back and sides. I had a lecturer like that at college. We called him Mr. Whippy. It's 4 gold bars, Aromonas, nitrates over 300. Ooh. Even I don't let my nitrates get that high. Well, I was saying that, people, yeah, but I mean, I got nailed by a blackbird, so didn't hurt as much. Bit of a dent to the pride getting attacked by a blackbird. Member of the thrush family. Not just because they're irritating and C units. Yeah, well, that is something I wanted to mention. Now, my tap water is 8.2 pH, right, and a lot of my tanks run high sevens, let's say 7.8, 7.6. But that original flex of mine that's got the bristle noses in, it gets 20% water change every week of 8.2 pH going into it. It's now running 6.4 pH. So, I mean, the nitrates, I don't know how I manage it, because most of my tanks are massively overstocked, but the nitrates are really low everywhere. Yeah, how that pH dropped that much, I don't know. And it's not because there's no buffering capacity, because my water comes out of the tap with carbonate hardness, calcium in the water. It is just way off the scale. You know, you use the API test kit, you're talking about 23 drops before it actually changes color. Test strips, it just goes navy blue instantly. Although the video I was going to do this week, before I did the bristle nose breeding video, I went and got some water from the local river. I was going to do some testing on that to see what the local river water tastes like. Because everyone says, no, in nature there's no nitrates. Water parameters are always perfect in nature. Yeah, let's have a look, see what happens. Bearing in mind it's mainly runoff from farmland, I expect this is going to be rather high in nitrates. So everyone's made it, we ran through about every med out there. Yeah, I can imagine. And the thing is, it's probably the clean water that did the best good for them. Best good, most good. English is hard. Speak it all day, every day. Yeah, nitrate in nature, tons of, yeah. I haven't got a CO2 test, but I've got a sneaking suspicion it's not going to be the pure and pristine water that people think it's going to be. It probably, I know it would test positive for chicken and pig feces as well. Oh yeah, fish water. Well, that's one of my things. When I finally pull my finger out of my hole and get around to actually putting or figuring out how to word it and name it and what picture to put, I am actually going to start selling my water change water. It's water change water with filter cleanings in it, so it's really good for plants. Yeah, it's just a case of getting people to realise that it's good for plants. Much as CO2, I could say CO2 isn't necessary in a glass box. Water is a good idea. Yeah. I'll say, if anything, it's what keeps the pH level down in natural waterways is the amount of CO2 in it. Because I mean, given what the tap water and bedrock substrate, etc., around here is, I would be expecting that river water to be super hard. But I've got a funny feeling it'll come out a lot softer than I expect, or softer as in lower pH than I'd expect. Rain is carbonic acid, basically, isn't it? Which is why the lime or the chalk dissolves into the water. Because chalk dissolves, or calcium dissolves in acid. Yeah. So this is the thing. All us fish keepers know this about fish poop water. Yep, CO2 and H2O is carbonic acid and H2O. Yes. And was it the 80s or 90s? There was that big scare about acid rain. I think it was the early 90s. Big scare about acid rain and how it was going to kill everything. It has had an impact in certain places, and whether it's just me, and it might also be because it's a hard water area, not as pH well above 7. So when you have a bath or a shower or whatever, you're getting in high pH water. If I'm out in my shorts, I don't notice it on my arms so much, but get rain on my legs, there's a mild burning sensation. Certainly feel something, and I'm pretty sure it's not consecrated water that falls out of the sky, so it's nothing to do with my vampiric nature. Yeah, it might be another idea to. Well, I've got a water butt in the back garden, so I can test the water out of that as well, and just see what the rainwater is. It could be some interesting content for water chemistry nerds, anyway. Most people will go, "What the hell? I ain't watching that." Yeah, it's definitely come from the sky. Yeah, it's not me dribbling down my leg. That's definitely acidic. That clears the lime scale out of the toilet. And what buns out water clear? Yeah, well, so, I mean, you can see pretty much my tanks are clear. If you can't see into the tank, it's because there's algae on the glass. And the only tank that really happens in is the shell dweller tanks. There's, no plants, and for some reason they kill all the snails I put in there. Although it is funny when you see a shell dweller pick up a trumpet snail by the pointy end and swim around the tank with it. Looks like they're playing a little trumpet. Yeah, so I do find myself thinking about these weird things about nature and water chemistry and how things actually work in the real world. Once the urine drain. Yeah, Monster, Coke. Yeah, it would. Is your drain blocked? Call Sharpe and have him pee down it. Yeah. Lime scale marks on the glass in the shower. Pee up it. Oh, I can see the advert now. For sale, Sharpie P. Or Sharpie. Guaranteed to dissolve lime scale and enamel. Harpic max strength. Contains energy drink piss. Okay, it's better. I have been called Sharpe before. People confused Sharpie with Sharpe as in the dog. I was like, I know I'm ugly and hairy, but Jesus, I ain't that bad. It's worse. Yeah. Yeah. I've really got to get around to suing that bloody pen manufacturer, haven't I? I'm stealing my name. Shame I didn't patent it, really, or trademark my name. Although that would be the day I know I'd made it. If you Googled Sharpe and I came up above the pens. Well, Bic was named after Laszlo Bic, the inventor. Yeah, random knowledge. And Oscar Titzling, who invented the bra. And not actually true, it wasn't Thomas Crapper who invented the toilet. Because obviously the Romans did that hundreds of years earlier. I think he might have invented like part of the flush mechanism or something like that. Yes. Yeah, brain full of random factoids that are really not helpful. There are lots of useful. Oh, plane finally taking off. Have fun, Anthony. And try not to breathe in too many people's farts while you're up there. Because let's be honest, you're being fired through the sky in a tin can full of other people's farts. And that's an old Frankie Boyle line, so I don't get accused of stealing his jokes. Not that Frankie Boyle is ever going to watch one of my streams and pick up on that. Not unless he's suicidal. You're on the tube then. Oh God, no, the tube, jeez. Oh, you never get on the tube on a Friday or a Saturday night, that's for certain. The farts are the least of your problems. It's the puddles you got to step over and the piles and the half-eaten kebabs and This is why I never got the late bus home from wherever I was out. I always got a taxi. Sorry, itchy nose. I need to trim my nose hair. Yeah, always got a taxi. People like, why do you get the taxi? I'm not going to have to deal with drunk people and puddles of puke and God knows what on the floor. And I'm going to get home in half the time. Yeah, trains in the rush hour. But good one on that. I mistimed the trip to Norwich once. And the train I came back on, obviously no one knows Norwich, the football ground and the train station are really close together. So a lot of the away supporters or home supporters will use the train to get to the ground. You save on parking and all that palaver. So I get on the train on the way home. And oh God, it's the football train. It's jam-packed. Yeah. First stop, where it fills up in the station and it's just jammed solid. I was like, oh, great. Not even got a seat. I'm going to have to stand up all the way home. Fortunately, I had wind. Within 5 minutes, I had half the carriage to myself. I dropped one and it must have stunk like high heaven because everyone like squashed like sardines up to the other end of the carriage. I'll sit here then. That's CO2. That wasn't CO2, that was pure methane and sulfur and Satan's breath. I forget what I'd eaten. I think it may have been pickled eggs in hot sauce. I think it might have been something like that. and like a jar of pickled eggs, all dipped in like super hot sauce, and just cleared the train carriage. Conductor came along and he's like, "Why are you? What?" So looks around and manages to get through the crowd, and then it's all empty. He sort of looks at me, sat there, and I farted. Thankfully, I had a lot of wind, so I farted several times on the way home. It's only a 20-odd minute ride as well. By the time we got to Attleborough, I had the entire train carriage to myself. And not having a sense of smell, I couldn't smell it. I was chewing on it, but you know. I was literally laughing to myself all the way back. Like, and then there was the time I went to the loo in the train station and fell asleep on the toilet and missed my train. Had to get woken up. Someone heard snoring coming out of the toilet cubicle. Yeah, that was me. At least I didn't fall asleep on the train, because then I'd have ended up somewhere like Cambridge or London. The bloody expensive train ticket to get home as well. It's expensive enough just getting to Norwich and back. It's about it's probably about a £9 return by now. For 22 minutes on the train each way. Whereas the bus is a £5, and it drops you off right in the middle of the city. Or in my case, about a 3-minute walk from one of the local fish shops. Dress up in posh Victorian era garb, take the tube Friday evening ice. How many fights I get into? Yeah, I don't do the fights anymore. I've broken too many bones. I'm moving 29, so I'm 55. I want 5 packs of plants. Cool. Have a good day and a good week, J-Rock. Good to see you here. Welcome back anytime. Same time every week. Usually. Well, actually, yeah, because now I don't work anymore. I don't have to do short streams because I got called into work. And this is it. We all dream of that viral video that just launches into the stratosphere. But you get that one video, you might get a bunch of subs. People sub because that one video was awesome. And then they see the rest of your content and they unsub. So yeah, you get all the views and the money from that one video, but probably not going to be that great for your channel. Another 20 minutes or so, J-Rock. I do 2 hours. Yes, you can put me on the TV. I'd rather you didn't toss me on it, though. That's not for public viewing. Yes, I can convert almost anything. As people who've known me for a while will know. Ugh. Ooh. A bit uncomfortable. Yeah, posh Victorian era. Yeah, that's the other thing, Jason. I just can't do posh. You could put me into an expensive suit and I just look like a scruffy git in an expensive suit. Yeah, I can take a joke. Oh, Marritt's going to the pet shop next week. What are you getting? What are you getting, Marritt? What are you getting? Or is it going to be a surprise? And are you going to do a video? Come on, we need to hear that sexy voice more. And some nice reflections in the tanks. What do I think? Ooh, I think it might be either whiptails or fart Llewellas. Yes, I wouldn't say no to hearing that sexy voice or seeing the reflections. I might have to break out the heavy duvet afterwards, or wear some very tight pants. You know, yeah. I actually think for the first time in several weeks, I haven't. Next weekend, I won't have to go out anywhere to get any fishies. Before I add anything more to the flex, I want to see if I can get the Super Reds breeding first. And yes, it is Fred and Ginger. Kind of had to, didn't I? Really, Fred Rogers and Ginger Astaire. Yes, I know I got that wrong on purpose. Hey, yay, Marritt's channel. We love Marritt. We love Marritt. We love Marritt. Now, while you're at it, Dan, stick your own blooming link up there. Come on, you got a cracking channel as well. Lots of interesting wee facts and knowledge. Oh, so Daniel's taken your link virginity, has he? Lucky man. Yeah. Come on, Dan, get your blooming channel link up there. Well, I'm sure everyone who's here, 10 are probably already subscribed. But, yeah. Your Corey video, your wee Corey Dora breeding video was very useful. I'll probably have to watch it a few more times just to make sure it all sinks in. So I don't go, what do I do? If I get eggs. Ooh, last ciggy paper. No. All right, in that case, as I suck at tech, everyone who's not subscribed to Daniel Keeping Fish, subscribe to his channel. Great channel, great content. Some rather hilarious Aussie tuber content. Stickers available as well. There you go. If you're not going to toot your horn, I'll toot it for you. And that wasn't meant to sound as perverse as it did. You say nice things about mine for some bizarre reason. I'm a living example of how not to YouTube. Let's be honest. Yeah. My videos aren't edited. They aren't structured. There's no intro or outro or cards or graphics, or it's as basic as you can get. My live streams, I don't have a plan or certain things I want to talk about for however long. I'm pretty much the antithesis of what YouTubers should be doing. That's probably why my channel is still rather small after so many years, but you know. Yeah. That's like a lot of people like the flashy editing and super high def and perfect camera work and cinematography, and then you got me holding the camera on the not really pointing it at whatever I should be pointing it at, waffling on in no particular order about what I'm talking about, just making it up as I go along. It's kind of like my life, really, just make it up as I go. Got real life. Yeah, that's sort of my style, I suppose you could say. My way of doing things. Might not be for everyone, but some people seem to appreciate it, and they're here. So thank you very much. Yeah. Considering I started doing videos because I had subscribers, and I thought I'd better do a video to start out, just to say hello. Yeah, don't go back, and especially the first few, just don't, because they were either recorded on my ancient Samsung tablet, so they're in like 480p, and then I thought I'll use my digital camera because that will take video. Yeah, but the focus on that really struggled and was really loud. So virtually the entire video is like because all you can hear is the camera bloody focusing. Then I finally went out and bought myself a proper camcorder. So how Sharpe makes a YouTube video. I could do a video how I make YouTube videos. Problem is, the camera I use to film the videos, I would need to show how I do it. But yeah. So if we go, I'm going to do a video about this. Put the camera on, put the memory card in, turn it on, open the lens cover, hit record. Howdy peeps, welcome to the channel. Today I'm talking about blah blah blah. Waffle on till I feel the subject's covered, and do my goodbye. Turn the camera off, take the memory card out, stick it in the computer, go to YouTube. Well, actually, I'll watch the video first, just to make sure there aren't any iffy images. People showing how they make them. Yeah, you don't want to see me cooking, that's for sure. Need to go. Get in a hot tub for the Belgium game. Yeah. Enjoy watching 22 men run around in your hot tub. Have a good week, Dan. Always good to see you. Stay safe, we man. And I have no idea what the hell's going on in the Euros. I know England got through, but Scotty too hotty. How the devil are thou? Good to see you again. Oh, no, yeah. I think that's a fart. How is it all going with the fishy tanks and the newty tanks and whatever other weirdness you have going on? Because, you know, my life's not exactly exciting, but I like it that way. I like a quiet life. I don't deal with excitement well. Me excited. Me miserable. Me bored. Me with resting bitch face. That's pretty much me. Me at a party. All good. Have you had any babies yet from your newts? And have you managed to breed anything alien in your tanks? And why does that look like there's some kind of angel in the tank behind me, just over my shoulder? I'm hoping that's the trick of a light. Yeah, it's just the light reflecting off some cryptocrine leaves. Or cryptocorn or crypt. But yeah. Oh, it looks like there's some kind of angel or I don't know, sitting over my shoulder. Kind of wish I still had Spaz and his eyes were glowing red over this shoulder. That would be awesome. The baby newts. Oh, never mind. Hopefully soon. It's normally spring when they lay, so need some dollars. Yes, don't we all? Well, not dollars. I'd rather have pounds because you know they're worth more. But what was the ones I saw in the LFS today? It was it Asian ridged newts or something like that? God, they're probably called different things in every different shop, but they look kind of cool. But kind of tempted, but you know, I've got a pond. Oh, trying to get crested newts. Well, good luck getting greater crested newts because they're a protected species. I've got lesser crested newts in my pond. They breed, but you don't get any babies, or maybe one or two survive because there are comets in there as well, and they eat the spawn. Although I have got quite a few froglets hopping about at the moment, so that's all good. I've got a few less than I did have because I cut the grass out the back the other day. Danube crested newts. Yeah, so if you look at the greater crested newt, which is an English native species, they're awesome looking newts. Seriously colourful. Males, anyway. Native species that is on the protected list. You're not even allowed to catch them to look at them. Although if some happens to somehow magically end up in my pond breeding, I wonder how much government or the Environment Agency would pay for those to repopulate. There's an idea. Yeah. So greater crested isn't the giant newt. Well, it might be. Depends. I mean, they're still only about that big. Whereas they got the dorsal fin is greater than the lesser crested newt. It's sort of red and orange and yellow. Very cool fish. Newts, amphibians. Well, I'm still kind of in the. Do I want to do a native tank? And then I think, well, what could I have in it? Stone loaches, which basically look like slightly larger Otocinclus, just grey. Sticklebacks and minnows is about all I could have. So nothing particularly pretty or rare. Well, a crucian carp would be awesome. They're absolutely gorgeous little fish, but they do get up to 5 or 6 pound in weight. They're getting rare as well because people keep dumping goldfish in ponds, and goldfish crossbreed with the crucian carp. It's Carassius auratus, common crucian carp. Not so common. They're kind of buttery goldy colour. Very pretty little fish. Absolute pig to catch as well. You need to fish so fine for them because they're so finicky. Tiny hooks, super fine lines, super delicate float, and you have to fish right up to the lilies. I mean, so the float is like that far away from the lily pads because they won't come more than 6 inches out from the lily. So yeah, you're fishing super fine, and as soon as if you get a bite and manage to hit it and set the hook, they're straight into the lilies. So yeah, they're fun to catch. I had a 2 pounder once. Wonder what the hell I'd hooked. Took off like a freight train. Yeah. Ow. When you're not watching, when you're stubbing out a cigarette and you realise you're stubbing it out with the side of your finger rather than your fingernail. Oh well, good job that bit of me's basically leather. That might be an interesting video to do actually. The differences between fishing in the US and the UK. Probably some of the gear we use, most Americans look at and go, I can't even see that. They make hooks that small? Why do you use line that thin? Yeah, because you use thicker line, you won't get a bite. Or it just won't fit through the eye of the hook. I've had that before. Try bow fishing. Yeah, that's illegal in the UK. Yeah, it's something I've seen, and it does certainly take some skill. But the only species you could catch in the UK would be carp. They're about the only ones that will come right to the surface and just cruise about. The rest of them you'll never even see. I mean, you can get a shoal of a couple of thousand roach and you won't see it, and it can be that far below the surface. Roach again, very pretty fish, bright silver with red fins and a dark greeny brown black back, which is why you can't see them under the water. The rudd as well, similar coloration with the fins, bronze coloured body. Also getting rarer because they crossbreed with, what is it, like, yeah, people dump the golden rudd in the ponds and they crossbreed with the normal rudd and completely ruin the genetics of that pond. So yeah, we have problems with invasive species, as it were. Blue wharf and golden wharf, I've caught them as well out of lakes. Goldfish, fan-tailed carp, that was weird. Hook a 6 or 8 pound fish and it doesn't fight because its tail is just long and fluttery and useless. And you hook one with a normal tail and yeah, it'll pull the rod in if you're not holding on. Yeah, give me a good natural native fish. Smaller species as well, and much harder to catch. Not like carp, which everyone thinks are hard to catch, and they do all these really posh and poncy gear and rigs. No, no, just a bit of bread floating, or a floating dog biscuit, or a piece of corn on a small hook right down the margins. You'll pull carp out all day long. What do I know? I've only fished most of my life. And me, I think about things and figure out the easy way. Anyway, it's that time again. I've done my couple of hours, so time for me to get something to eat before I collapse. Thank you everyone for showing up, turning up and staying, or lurking, or chatting, or whatever. Have a good week all. Enjoy your fishies or your newts or whatever you keep. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp.